Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. I go by the Blue Light Oracle, and in today's reading, I want to do a reading around the next few weeks or the rest of the year. So finalizing 2022. This is going to be a message from the universe. So I'm going to shuffle these and pull 4 piles. Okay, and last one. I'm just going to shift these up because of the light there. Oh, there's light everywhere. We'll go here. Okay, so for part 1, you have the bully. So the light attribute highlights your tendency to intimidate others, helps you confront the inner fears that bully you. The shadow attribute conceals deep fears behind verbal or physical abuse. I'm going to focus on these just so you can see them up close. So there's pile 1. So for pile 2, you have the lover. The light attribute is great passion and devotion, unbridled appreciation for someone or something. And the shadow attribute is obsessive passion that harms others, self-destructed devotion. Okay. And for pile 3, you have the prostitute, with the light accentuates the challenge of surviving without negotiating the power of your spirit. Shadow attribute is places material consideration and security above self-empowerment. Okay, and pile 4, you have rescuer. The light attribute provides strength and support to others in crisis, acts out of love with no expectation of reward. The shadow attribute assumes that the rescued will reciprocate, keeps the rescued one needy. Okay, so just adjust the camera. So very interesting ones coming out today. So feel free to take some time, trust your intuition which one's calling to you today. What I'll do is leave some timestamps below so you can go straight to your reading. This time I'll make sure the timestamps are correct. So sorry about the last reading, but take your time, trust your intuition, go for whichever one's calling you, or if more are calling to you, make sure you watch all these, but I'll leave you some time now to contemplate. Hello everyone, welcome to the shuffling portion of the video. Very interesting. I was a little bit thrown by these two really coming out, but we are coming out to the end of the year, so maybe that's going to get people to actually pick these piles. We'll see. So today it's going to be interesting because this is a message from the universe. This pile, this particular deck can be read reversed for a oracle, and I was going to flip them all up, but I felt like there is probably some important messages for the piles in regards to it being reversed specifically. Doesn't necessarily mean it's better or worse. It's just a message, like they always are. Okay, so we got pile 1. I will say, I feel like people watching will be really intrigued by the prostitute coming out. I don't know if they'll want to pick that one, but I feel like they'll watch it anyway, just to see what is being said to the that particular card, let's say, that particular pile. One. Yeah, we're almost done. So today I'm recording this on the 20th. I'll post it very early tomorrow morning for me. So I guess for most people, it'll still be the 20th when this is released. Because I'm quite far ahead. In Australia, we're ahead in time in most parts of the world. Okay. Only when you think it's a card and then they're like, nope. Yeah. Odd. Okay, so there's the Oracle cards. I'm just going to get 2 of these, 2 each, from the tarot. Do 1 each and then come back. Okay. Whoa. Nope. No flippers today. No flippers. Take that one too. I don't know what it is, but this pile seems excited. Seems really excited about the reading. That one there too. Right, and one more. So I think pile 3's done. Nice. Right, so that concludes the shuffling. Just as before, if you want to skip to your video, the timestamps are below. Otherwise, enjoy your reading. Hello, pile 1. So let's have a look at your reading today. So you've chosen Bully. Again, I'll just remind you of the attributes. So we have the light attribute is highlights your tendency to intimidate others, helps you confront the inner fears that bully you. Very interesting. Conceals deep fears behind verbal or physical abuse. So we'll have a look and see how that fits into your reading today. I'm going to start off with the Oracle cards. Okay, so you've got the One Ring Circus reversed. I will be reading these ones reversed, so we'll have a look, but I'll just quickly show you what it looks like upright. You also have Miracles coming out, very nice. Okay, and you also, oh, okay. So you have the third eye activation with brow chakra, inner visions, and a clear seeing. Okay, so we'll leave that there. Let's have a look at your tarot. Wow, so you have the 9 of Cups right next to Miracles. You also have the 4 of Cups. Okay. You have the 10 of Discs, very nice. And you also have the Ace of Discs finishing up your reading. Very interesting. Okay, so what do I see here? So straight away with the One Ring Circus reversed, One Ring Circus is about doing things alone, getting things done yourself. However, reversed usually talks about assuming or thinking that you're the only one who can solve the problems or do everything. It's kind of like a reminder that people can help you. There are people there who can support you in what you are trying to get done. The 4 is talking about boredom, monotony, sometimes spending energy on worrying about things that we have no control over. That could be anything, could be like weather, that kind of thing. I will say that it's fine to feel like that, but just don't dwell in it. There are other things around you that can support you. You've got friends, family. With the 10 of Discs is talking about success financially as well. Doesn't always have to mean that, but that's how it always looks like. Happy families, generational wealth, which is very interesting, being right at the very last card of this reading. It wasn't the last card pulled, but it's the last card at the end. When we've got dreams coming true with the 9 of Cups, or that talks about success as well, and miracles, talking about coming out of the shadows or out of like a stormy period, stormy time. There's also 2 here, so it feels like it's a huge or large blessing before the end of the year. Maybe some kind of clarity. We've got the third eye activation. This is clear seeing. This is seeing between the lines, seeing through inner voices, let's say, inner saboteur, I want to say, with the bully, because the bully can also be standing up to our own inner fears. But I feel like also you've had to be, or you feel like you've had to be really hard on yourself. And sometimes that can boil over to coming across as harsh to other people. Do I think you're being harsh to other people? Probably not, because we have the 10 of Discs here. The Discs feels like you're doing what you feel is right. But just remember, you don't have to be the one that carries everything. You don't have to burden yourself with all the work. I feel like there's some kind of delegation or needing to put some stuff down and relax. We're coming to the end of the year as well. And I do feel like, even though this is from the universe for the end of the year, I feel like there's something new and big coming, or you actually doing the work to get it started, or maybe you already have. This is like a new growth in, like, say, this is, for example, if this is going to be specific for some, but if you have a business that you're running and you are kind of branching in a different direction or expanding, let's say, this is kind of a sign that this hard work that you've put in is coming true and coming out. So just remember, now is the time to balance your energies as well. Balance friends, family kind of energy, balance your self-talk, balance your energy, refill your cups for this new year, because I feel like it's going to have a lot of blessings, and blessings come from work as well. And I want to come back to the assistance thing with the One Ring Circles. It just keeps calling to me with this card. It's like there are people that are reaching out to assist. Make sure that you use your discernment. Of course, you've got the third eye you have the third eye activation card here, showing you that you know how to trust your intuition, use your discernment when it comes to decisions. But sometimes we can blind ourselves to thinking we have to do all the work, we have to do everything. But it's saying there's clear support here. There's even like friendship or emotional support in some way. That maybe they can't help with what you're doing exactly, but they can help you bring your energy back in line. Looks like you've done a lot of hard work. So just remember how far you have come this year as well. I'm just going to read a little bit from the third eye chakra activation. Okay, so I'm just going to read a bit of this. So this is the third eye activation. This gateway encourages you to unlock your psychic abilities and to stop questioning your divine ability to see. Know that great potential and healing will be unleashed when this space is activated. If you have an intuition about something, trust what you are seeing. This is a sacred time for the psychic potential that you have had since childhood is awakening from slumber. You've always been a dreamer, sometimes thinking about how the future will show up, or revisiting the past. In the past are reawakening in your inner vision is stronger than you imagine. You have an innate ability to see further than human eyes and are able to identify the energies of what is going on around you with your activated third eye. This gateway is here as a confirmation that what you are seeing and experiencing is divine alignment, and you are being supported as you develop this source-given gift. So there is that as well. It doesn't have to be abilities exactly, however, that is what it's pointing to. So maybe you are now starting to really ramp up your ability to see through the fog, I want to say. See the real blessings around you. Maybe you already have some of these miracles have already happened. Like this miracle is always like a term for magic in a way, but magic more that's appropriate, we'll say. In religions, miracles are seen as like a good thing when they're kind of like magical things happening. Whereas we'll see magic as like, say, a negative can be a cult or something like that. When really they are one and the same. They're just different words that mean the same thing. But it looks like big blessings are coming through. You're actually seeing your vision. Maybe you're seeing where you can go and how you can start. And that's going to be your biggest blessing coming up for some of you, Pile 1. Overall, I do feel like there is, for some of you, this is coming up in the new year or is like a new beginning. And then for some of you, this has already started to happen and you're still putting in the blocks in place. But just make sure you unburden yourself. Don't think that you have to do everything. There's people there to help you if they can't help you with your dream exactly. Make sure you take some time for yourself as well and hang out with friends, family to relax, de-stress, declutter, clear out the old so you can bring in all this new fabulous energy next year. And that is what I see for you today, Pile 1. So thank you very much for being here. If you've enjoyed, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss any of my content. Otherwise, have a good year, rest of the year, and I will see you in the next video. Bye. Hello, Pile number 2. So today you have chosen the Lover card. So I'll just read that out again. So great passion and devotion, unbridled appreciation for someone or something. That's the light attribute. And the shadow is obsessive passion that harms others, self-destructed devotion. See how that fits into your reading today. So you have the Coming Apart card. This already feels very interesting with the self-destructive devotion. We'll have a look at the rest of the cards, but I feel like that's calling already. Right, new beginning. This is nice. So maybe this is coming out of this energy. You also have Lemurian seed codes with embracing sensitivity, uniqueness, living with grace. Choosing you. I feel like this is all about choosing happiness over anything else. Your happiness. Okay. So you have the Judgment card. Yep. Coming into realization after, you know, a long journey, a long path this year. Maybe this year, maybe for many years. But this year has, I know I'm reading it already, but I just can feel like so much energy and a message needing to come through. Like so much has happened this year and it's finally clicked in, but you had to be split open, I guess, or something had to change or drop or be cut out or shifted, moved. Something had to be changed drastically that has got you into this now new beginning potential for the next year or for, you know, the rest of this year. We've got the 9 of Swords. Yeah, definitely something that was a challenge for sure. So you have the 3 of Swords as well. And you also have the Emperor. This feels like this is the... It's kind of... This is interesting for you, pile number 2. So it looks like this is coming through and talking about the year and what's gone through and happened. And now we're talking down here about the change, the shift, the new fresh energy coming in for the rest of the year, and also going into the new year. So the energy for the new year. But I feel like for you, pile number 2, it's been a challenge. It's been a hard year, but it's come with great blessings by, this is either shadow kind of work. I don't want to say shadow work exactly, but it's like dealing with shadowy challenges or difficult challenges, big challenges during the year. Whether that's something that's happened external, like an event, or with someone else, or even just working internally. It's something that like has been really on your mind, or was a challenge to be in this connection, this relationship. With the 3 of Swords, it's quite clear that this hurt you at a deep level. So for a lot, I do feel like this is a relationship. Some kind of relationship has come to an end. And the great thing for you, it's ended a cycle as well, potentially. So this is just an example, but potentially it's like you've dated the same kind of people over and over again. You've had a very similar relationship, different people, but it always ends up slipping into a mold that has always been there and always same energy that was constantly going round in circles with relationship after relationship, or even in your mind after relationships or something like that. But this looks like it has come to an end. Living with grace is like choosing the high road, and I really like that for this energy here. And even here during this, taking the high road and taking the opportunity to see this as a fresh new start, dawning of a new day with this kind of energy. This is shining so bright as I look at it, and especially right next to the Judgment card, coming to a realization and standing in your power, because the Emperor is all about strength, stability, can be a bit stubborn, but maybe that's what you needed. I feel like for some of you, that's what you needed. You needed to be hard with your interactions. You were already hard with yourself, potentially. For some of you, there's kind of like a realization that you can have grace and be soft while also being firm and fortified and strong. But this does feel like old energy is coming to kind of an end for most of you. This thought pattern, this kind of, you're appreciating the, I guess you're seeing the silver lining. That's what I want to say, the silver lining in the darkness that has passed. So that's great. And while this is just for the rest of the year, I do feel like it's also a reflection on the whole year, and also an opportunity for the new year. I also want to say for some, I feel like the Lover card is more about a relationship. I know this is not really necessarily a relationship reading, but there's just too much in here that is calling to a relationship. Or even it could be, you can switch this to be like business, relationship, work, job, something that was stressing you, and now you've come into this like new beginning for the rest of the year, which is really nice. But I will say for some of you, I feel like this was a relationship that was from many years ago that still plays on your mind over and over and over, and you've kind of coming into a conclusion where you're not going to be thinking about it like that anymore. You're going to start a new chapter. You had to dig deep, something that you repressed even. You've done the work, or you are still processing and doing the work. Just know that that work isn't being ignored, or it's being noticed by the universe. The universe sees that. That's really what I want to say. It's like the collective, everyone is proud of you for what you're doing, even though you think you're doing this alone. You're not. There's guides, there's ancestors, there's angels, there's whatever you want to believe, there's support around you, even if they may not be physically there right now. And with the Emperor again, I do feel like you'll be coming into your own. What do I mean by coming into your own? You're going to be realizing your value, whether this is work related, career related for you, because the Lover card now is coming out for, like I've kind of spoken on the relationship sides. And then for some of you, this is about passion, career. You're coming into your own, trusting your own abilities, or you've come into your own and thought, you know what, I can learn this. I can learn ABC, so I can start doing what I really, really enjoy doing, what I love doing. I do see you standing stronger in 2023 with whatever challenges come up, I feel like if something similar kind of comes up, you're going to be able to discern it much faster, get out of that energy, get out of that person's way, or get them out of your way in some way, in respectful, graceful way. I feel like you're going to finally see the star inside you, if that makes sense. I know it's very like, woo, but when I'm connecting with like universal energy, it feels grand all the time. You're going to see your unique qualities, your, I guess, superpower, if you want to say it like that. It doesn't have to be some kind of ability that's, you're the only one that has it, but you are you are the only you. That's what I want to say. And that's what's unique about you. So really strong, powerful reading, really nice reading. And that is what I see for you today in your cards pile number 2. So thank you very much for being here. Congratulations on going through this hardship and still coming out with a positive attitude and using that challenge or those challenges to really begin a fresh year in 2023. So feel free to give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed the content. If you want to subscribe, you won't miss any content. And also, thank you very much for being here. Take care of yourself for the rest of the year. Bye. Hello, pile number 3. So today you have chosen the Prostitute. So very interesting card to come out in the piles. I was like, oh, is this going to be terms of service? But she's covered. So the light attribute is accentuates the challenge of surviving without negotiating the power of your spirit. I really love that kind of message. And the shadow attribute is places material considerations and security above self-empowerment. Kind of feels like a flip in those two. One's empowering by doing what you feel is right, and then the shadow is like putting more value in material than into your own life, I want to say. So let's have a look at the cards. So I'll start with the Oracle cards. Oh, so you've got Wishing Well. This here. You have Relaxation. Nice. You also have the I Am Presence card. It talks about light body activation, accessing the divine within. Yeah, this is nice. This is quality energy, I feel. I feel like I need to read this card from the book. I'll get there once we flip the cards. So you have the 7 of Wands. This makes so much sense. Standing in your power, defending what's yours in any conflicts, having the higher ground, knowing that you have, they can't even touch you. It's like you have all this power. Okay. You also have the 7 of Cups. So we've got 7, 7. You have the Hierophant. Yeah, this is all saying this kind of very similar message. We'll see what comes through right at the end. And you have the 2 of Discs. Okay, so what do I see straight away? So first of all, just looking at a few of the cards, especially at the top, I feel like you have had to go against the grain, I want to say. Or you've created, it's not walls, it feels like you've put boundaries in place with people, with yourself, with your community that feel right to you. Either you've done this already or this is what you're working through still. I feel like a lot of you have already finished this, and this is a reflection on the year for that. Like the universe is coming through with all the piles today, talking about reflection on the entire year. That seems to be the message, so maybe I should change the title, but I feel like I'll stick to what it is, what I'll put it up as. So the 7 of Cups, though, also is talking about there's so many options that could have been taken. Some good, some not great potential options. But making a choice and owning that choice is what you kind of have done. You've stuck up. It's like you've stuck up for yourself. You've done what you've done so you can be happy, so you can feel calm and inner peace. I'm going to read the I Am Presence light body activation, accessing the divine within. I feel like this is almost very much like the prostitute energy, I guess, the archetype, not saying that you've done that work, just saying more like that archetype energy. Prostitute's all about finances, really. It's doing what you feel is right, but in an empowering way, and also making money from that work. Because we all do work. We all work in ways to make money. And some of the work we do, we may not love, we may not enjoy, but I feel like if you feel you have a place where you can feel in some kind of power or use your energy in a positive way, I feel like that's really what the prostitute card is talking to, because there has to be boundaries in that kind of work as well, right? And sex worker kind of work, you have to have clear boundaries within yourself, with your clients, with your boss, if you have a boss or whatever. There has to be some kind of clear boundaries. And same with any other kind of work, you have to have clear boundaries. If you're always on call, or you have to dash off at a drop of a hat, if that's a boundary that you've put in, that you're okay with that, then absolutely fine. But if it's kind of draining you, you have to review that. And that could be anything. I was thinking straight away in my mind, like a real estate agent, because years and years ago when I bought my first house, the agent said he was on holiday with his family and there was a house that was about to go through the selling process. So he had to drive hours and hours and hours away by himself, leave his family there, like they had 2 cars, and to be able to get to this, meeting, I guess, to negotiate a price or whatever. But that was what they had to do, and they were husband and wife, and they were both real estate agents, like they worked together, so they understood that. But that's kind of would be challenging for most people, I feel. So I'm going to read I Am Presence. You are experiencing a great shift which is helping you understand yourself in ways that were previously impossible. This is an exciting time. You are connecting with the highest form of intelligence within you. The body of light within you is growing brighter, and you are becoming aware of how your actions and choices affect the unfolding of your future. The bright light you are is expressing itself unapologetically. It just reminds me of like Lizzo songs almost, like having that strong divine feminine within energy, or masculine, whoever, it doesn't matter about gender too much, but that divine energy within, and being like, you know what, I am worthy of what I want and who I am, and I'm happy with who I am. Who cares what other people think? If I'm not hurting them directly, then their issues are their issues. The wishing well is very interesting as well, because it's seeing the difference between dreams, desires, and what you want. It talks about if you desire something, to work towards that, to save towards that, to start doing what you want. And it kind of has that same energy as the 7 of Wands and the Prostitute card coming out, and I Am Presence. It's all about, the 2 of this talks about needing balance, but I feel like shifting and changing in balance for the rest of the year, and also into the new year, into 2023, is going to be something that comes through. If you are questioning yourself about changes or anything like that, I feel like going within to ask the questioner, are you happy with this? Do I feel this particular way because it's from me, or like my intuition telling me that I should, maybe pick a different path or do something slightly different, whether this is in relationship or relationship or career or projects or passions, whatever you're doing right now, whatever this calls to, because I'm not getting a clear message of what this is about. I'm getting like a list. So this could be for some of you many little things, and for some of you some big things, but it's all different for everyone. I feel like discerning whether this is in relation to other people's energy or your energy is important. But really just ask yourself, are you happy? Are you proud of yourself and how far you've come and what you're doing in life? Because that's more important than what other people's opinions are, because they are just that. They are their opinions. But I love this energy. I feel like this is really empowering energy. It's like no one can touch you kind of energy. You've grown into your own power. And Of course, making sure you've got clear boundaries, good boundaries for the future is important, and also balance as well. Don't overwork yourself, don't overcommit yourself to whatever this is in regards to. Make sure you've got time to relax and take care of yourself. I feel like you are doing that, but certain things are always going to come up in people's lives. So being prepared or having like a nest egg or something like that to dip into if you need to, that's kind of feeling like that's important, whether that's emotional or financial or whatever that is. But all I want to really conclude with is continue being yourself, doing what you want to do, trusting in your own intuition and following your desires, because that is going to be the key to your success for the rest of the year and also for the rest of the new year. And that's what I see for you, pile number 3. So thank you very much for being here. Really great reading. I feel like this is amazing energy, and it's like almost like an enlightening, kind of like an awakening, but like an earthly awakening, like just finally everything clicking in kind of energy. Very similar to pile 2. So if that called to you as well, have a look at that. There's a lot of difference in there. It's more specific, but if it does call to you, then check that out. Otherwise, thank you very much for being here. If you enjoyed, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe so you do not miss any content. Otherwise, take care of yourself for 2023. It looks like you already know how to, so that's great. And I'll see you in the next video. Hello, pile number 4. Welcome to your reading. So today you have chosen Rescuer. So the light attribute is provide strength and support to others in crisis, acts out of love with no expectation of reward. And the shadow attribute assumes that the rescued will reciprocate, keeps the rescued one needy. This is interesting. It's such a vast like contrast, because the keeps the rescued one needy just feels like toxic energy of like one person being dominant and one person being passive once, and then flip-flopping instead of finding balance. It's like we can only be one or the other. We'll see if that plays into it, but it's just interesting energy. All right, so you have Sad Embrace reversed. These cards are going to be read reversed. I'll have a look at the book and share that with you if need be. So you have Wisdom. Nice. Okay, and you also have Star Gathering. So this talks about stars aligned, remembering home, soul family. Very interesting. I feel like for some of you, it's connecting with someone that you were almost destined to connect with. Maybe things not working out perfectly and expecting that they would. So interesting that's coming up. It's like this meeting was supposed to be good, but it didn't work out. But I feel like it was like a 50-50 thing. It's like, we'll just see what happens before coming into this life. It's interesting. We'll have a look at the rest of the cards before I get too lost into it. Okay, makes sense. So we've got the 5 of Pentacles. Have the King of Wands. You have the 7 of Discs. And you have the Empress. This is so interesting. I feel like I need to start with the Sad Embrace first. Also a lot of 7s coming out in today's readings. So the Sad Embrace reversed, I'm going to read this full thing to you. So, are you suffering over your suffering? Do you feel that life is treating you unfairly and that you've been robbed or deprived of what you're entitled to? Do you long for a love that eludes you, or the success that has been bestowed upon others? Righteous anger and a sense of entitlement lead to a trap of ego. Your suffering and loss will pass if you let them. If you hold on to your perception of unfairness, then you'll find yourself in its tight grip, unable to breathe freely. The only solution is to drop your victim stance and embrace the sadness, so that you may dissipate naturally over time. Trials and tribulations build character, which is its own gift. Find something to be grateful for, and take responsibility for your part in all matters. However painful it may be to sit with your sadness, remember that you are loved and will not be left adrift forever. Have faith, for this too shall pass. You are not a victim, only a traveler on a hero's journey. It's okay to be disappointed for now, but know that someday you'll look back and see great value in this experience. Maybe someone was keeping you needy in some way. It does feel like this doesn't have to be a relationship, but it feels like a destined meeting, soulmate kind of energy. And it just was intense and potentially kind of worked out to be toxic. But okay, this is going to be for some. It almost doesn't feel like it was meant to. It was like, it just worked out that way, and that's how the cards fell, let's say. But it's almost like it's been wisdom in the emotions with the mermaid, kind of ethereal mermaid in the water. It's like, this has built great knowledge for you in the future, but for some of you, I feel like it's still raw. It's still recent, it's still raw. But I will say at the end of the reading, we've got the King of Wands, someone who is very confident, emotionally stable, let's say, or getting into that stance, or having that person around them to help them be their best. And also the Empress, which is like nurturing, which is the same, almost the same, like, but from a masculine energy side with the King of Wands. It's like the nurturer, the carer, the creator as well, because the Empress is the one that gives birth to new life. But it has been a long time coming, like a long journey, a long path with the Five of Pentacles and the Seven of Pentacles. It's almost like being disappointed with what you sowed into a connection with someone, and the results weren't exactly what you thought they would be or expected to be. But it's almost like you either are or you're coming out of this challenge, because it's just a lot of hard energy that's needing to be processed. I do want to read the Star Gathering as well, because that's really interesting. Stars aligned, remembering home, soul, family. That's why I was like, this is in relation to this. This is in relation to a person. It was like someone who you kind of looked up to in a way, potentially, and expected better from them. And that was fine. I think you should have expected better from them. And they just didn't work out. I don't know exactly what happened for some of you. Some of you, it's like this was just complete shock. And I feel like this was a shock for even like your higher selves in some way. Because normally we have kind of some set things in life. We always obviously have free will. But this was just like a detour that was completely unexpected. It's almost like I want to say sorry for the journey you've gone through this year to get to where you are, and if you're still going through that kind of hardship. But I will say that it's almost like, sorry that you had to go through it, but what amazing learning you've got from this as a silver lining. And even though they might be like, you know, scoff at because it wasn't worth the pain, but I feel like with what the card was saying, looking back and realizing, you know what, this was a good experience to learn from. Nothing is as maybe rosy as I thought it was. So at least it's done now, or done back then. And now I can move forward with what I want to do and stand in my strength. Like it's helped me grow, not the way that I may have expected it or wanted it, but regardless, that skill and those abilities are there now. All right, so the Star Gathering. The stars have aligned, you have found the lost piece of yourself and your energy, and now it's your time to shine. You are magnetic, attracting people, energy, and opportunities that will allow your dreams to unfold. This is a time for wishes fulfilled. All of your dedication, focus, and dreaming has paid off, and now you can reap the rewards. It's important for you to know that this plane of existence is your rightful place, and not to spend too much time trying to transcend this reality, or you chose to be here at this time. Make the most of this powerful opportunity. If you are feeling particularly connected to certain individuals at this time, it's because you are finding your star family, beings you connected with before you entered the cycle of physical incarnation. And as long as you are connected to yourself, you are home. This is true. So this might be a very interesting read for starseeds, because it's kind of like maybe finding some of your star family, but certain things weren't working for some of you. And I just got like another path for a bunch of people that may be taking this read. So that's probably like part 1 of the read, I want to say. And this is kind of like part 2. Maybe you're now starting to find people that you can connect with, whether they are star family or just people that are like-minded for some of you. You've finally found your people, I want to say, or people that you can connect with and that you feel connected to. So you're coming out of this like feeling alone or like stuck energy, and you're no longer feeling like an outsider or things not working out. It's coming to fruition near the end of the year, or at the very latest, like the start of next year, the first 3 months. You're going to be out of this, but you're going to still have to work through this. Just trust in the process that you will find your calling, your star family, I want to say, for some of you star seeds. At minimum, if you're not a star seed or don't feel connected to that kind of belief, absolutely fine. I feel like you're going to find people you can connect with in some way that will help you, and you'll help them, and then you'll be able to move forward. But I will say, I feel like for some of you, you've had good intentions to help other people, and it just hasn't worked out because maybe they just haven't been on the same kind of wavelength as you. So interesting reading for you, pile number 4. I'm not getting a huge like things that are coming up or anything like that. This is more of like a journey that you have chosen and that you need to walk through or walk on this path because you've chosen it. You've decided this before incarnating. Your task now is to walk this path. That's how I want to say it. It's time to start doing and experiencing the journey, because the experience is more important than knowing what's going to happen. So very interesting one, very deep. And it's interesting with this mermaid, just reminds me of Syrians, one of my Sirius cards, Syrians or like Palladian. But that doesn't have to mean anything for anyone, but that just kind of popped in my head. So anyway, that is what I see for you. So thank you very much for being here. Please feel free to give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed the content, and subscribe so you don't miss any videos. I will be back again with more videos. So thank you for being here. Take care of yourself for the rest of the year. Happy New Year, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.